Welcome everyone to the Tactical Tavern. My name is Tomas, and we are here at Turner CNC live at Blade Show West with
David.
Nice
to see you.
We're gonna check out some of the blades, so let's cut into it.
So for those of us that don't know who we are, we're a third generation machine shop that started doing knives about 4-ish years ago. We got a couple of new things at the show. These ones you've seen before, but they're coming back probably for the last time. We got Bowies here. The Jin is a newer knife for us, so we based this off of a Persian style fighting dagger. We've got some breaching implements here. We've got some lightweight camping hatchets. We've got Machetes. That's a new project that we've been doing with Ed Calderon of Ed's Manifesto. And those are super light, super thin. You can put those in the sleeve of a jacket and, you know, they just have tremendous cutting power. And then we've got the Elvia. The Elvia is kind of like iconic design that we've been doing with him. Same thing with its smaller counterpart, the Elvia C. And then we've also got a bunch of factory seconds on our table. So for those that are coming to the show, all of our blemish knives that normally companies might throw away or discard, we mark them so everyone knows that they're blems, and we sell them at a pretty hefty discount. So we've got pretty much everything that we make. There's the occasional blemish that shows up, and we sell them for pretty hefty discounts. But like I said, those are show only. So yeah. So this is our Jackalope XL model. This is an in-house design that we've had for a little over 2 years. And we wanted something that was basically a Bowie knife you could fit in your pocket. So this specific one has a sharpened clip up top. These are machined out of CPM 3V, G10 handles, and then stainless hardware. For those that haven't seen our hardware before, these slots are machined to fit a penny. And that way you can just take it apart and you can wash your knife down in the field if you're cleaning, you know, deer, fish, what have you. These ones are coming with Kydex, and these we usually run horizontally on the belt. So you can just clip this onto your belt and you've got a knife for both hands regardless of which one you're grabbing with. Now, this is the Bowie. This one is probably going to be the last time that you see the Bowie. We did a small batch of these last year, and we have just been so darn busy with all of our other projects that it might not come back. But these are fully machined out of CPM 3V. It's got the same penny contour in the handles that the Jackalope XL has. And the Kydex on these is going to be completely ambidextrous. So it'll go in either way, it doesn't matter. And then there's a snap to make sure that that's not going to fall out on you. But yeah, we've got just a few of these left, and we'll see. They'll probably all sell at the show. Next, we've got the Jackalope, the original Jackalope, and this was the smaller precursor to the full-size one. Something different that we did on this, as opposed to Kydex, we did a cutting board material sheath, so HDPE for those that aren't familiar with it, and it's retained with magnets. And the reason we did that is when you're out cleaning fish, cleaning animals, and you have a knife that's got blood, hair, what have you, anytime you're pulling that in and out of the sheath, you start leaving gunk in there. So this is an option for those that want to be able to wash their knife out and not have anything get all messy and full of bacteria. Now this guy here, next to it, is a brand new debut for the show. This is the Elburo. This is also another in-house design for us. And we wanted something that was going to give you the handle size and handle shape of our beloved Jackalope XL, except now you've got a much smaller leaf-shaped blade. And with these are all hand ground. So we don't have a bunch of machining time into them. We don't have a bunch of overhead costs into them. These are all hand ground. And then we're running 3D printed components on these, again, to make them more cost effective. And that'll just pop into your pocket, belt, wherever you need to put it. But that's a new one for the show. So this is the first time people are seeing this. And then this guy right here is going to be the Jin. And the Jin is making a return after, about a year of not being available. And this is just because we've been so busy. The Jin is based off of a late 17th, early 18th century pesh dagger from the Middle East. And with these ones, we kind of pulled out all the stops. We put all of our magic into it. So we're working with a full hollow grind that's up in this front section here, and it'll be a little bit hard to see in the light, but it'll transition from a hollow to a flat up here on the front. And then this back section is going to be all hollow all the way through to keep it nice and thin. This ridge is the full thickness of your blade all the way up to the tip, because with a lot of daggers and a lot of fighting knives that are thin at the tip, they snap all the time. You try and stab them in something, you'll lose your tips. So these ones are going to come with a inside the waistband kydex. Some people put them in their pockets too. It's just personal preference. Most guys with a standard pair of Levi's, your pocket's deep enough that you can go ahead and just run that whole thing in there. Let's see. Yep. So you can run a whole knife in your pocket. And if you have a baggy enough shirt like I do, it's going to conceal pretty well. But that gives you just shy of 11 inches of cutting power in a pocket-friendly package. So those are going to be new for this year. We had a small batch last year, but that's new for the show. So the crux and the keys, these are the keys for those who've been with us since the early BillyTrident days. You've seen the keys since we've been doing them. These ones are going to be machined out of 70-75 aluminum. They're going to weigh the same as a quarter and a dime in your pocket. They weigh about a quarter ounce, but it still gives you tremendous force multiplication if you put it in your fist and it packs a wallet. The crux is going to be new for us, so it's a little bit more of a jewelry item. We cross drill them so you can run a chain around your neck if you want to, but the premise is the same. So you can still fill your palm with that, and these pack a wallet. There's a lot of heft behind these, and yeah, these are new for us. This is a brand new project we just finished up with Billy, and we're excited to show everyone. The fruit knives, this is a project we did with Ed Calderon. So a lot of people would grab Victorinox fruit knives from the grocery store, from Amazon or something like that, and they would try and do their own kydex and put their own edges and stuff. And we just wanted something that was going to be budget friendly, but it still gives you the edge that everyone's familiar with coming out of Turner CNC. So we sharpen these, we do a little fun laser engraving, and then we do a sheath that we throw in. So we got plenty of those. The Elvia C, again, is something that we've been doing with Ed for coming up on 2 years now. So for those that have been following Ed Calderon and his projects, he based this knife off of a paring knife that his mother carried, an old German pruning knife. And we just wanted to make a much smaller version that would fit everyone's hands. So it doesn't matter if you're 10 years old or 100, it's going to fill your hand pretty well. And we've got these with pocket sheaths. So you can clip the sheath into your waistline if you wanted to. So this can be clipped into the pocket. You can tuck this inside your waistband, or if you're using this hook on the side over here, you can hook your knife right out and you don't have to worry about clipping anything inside your pockets. This guy right here, this is a breaching hammer that we also did with Ed. So a lot of times when you have guys that work in law enforcement or EMS or something like that, you usually will have like a dedicated breaching person, and they'll have those big Halligan tools that weigh 40, 50 pounds, and they're just cumbersome. So he wanted something that was small enough and still kind of light enough to fit on every person's plate carrier or their rescue kit or what have you. And these are made out of AR-500 steel, so the same thing you use in your shooting targets. We milled a pry bar in the back here, and we throw in a roll of goon tape with these instead of handles. A lot of times when people sell these big breaching tools, they'll put plastic handles on them and they break all the time. So we did goon tape, if you're not familiar with it, is similar to hockey tape, except it doesn't leave that sticky residue when you put it on there, and it provides a nice cushy handle. So we've got these. This is a new project. This is the debut for this year of the Talax K. So we don't have any Talaxes with us. We're out of them right now, unfortunately, but this is a thinner, lighter version for those that are familiar with the original. So these ones are going to be ground out of 16th inch 52-100. The handles are going to be 3D printed, and then the sheath is going to be 3D printed too. And this one was something that we wanted to be light enough that you could take on your through hikes, your backpacking trips, your overland expeditions. And it's number one, not going to break the bank, and number two, it's not going to be something that's too cumbersome to throw in a pack. The sheath is a new thing for us. We're used to doing kydex on a lot of our Tomahawk projects. What's cool about this one is you're going to have your Tracker Dan clip that everyone knows and loves. And that can be clipped into your pocket, onto your belt, what have you, and the loop is keeping your hawk retained. But the big difference with this is it doesn't matter which way the hawk goes into the sheath. So we can put it in top down, or we can put it the other way. And this is for guys that some of us carry Tomahawks in the wintertime. You carry them under a jacket, so you can flip this clip around, or you can use these attachment points to put a harness on. You put this under your coat, and now you've got a tremendous amount of cutting power in such a small package. But 3D printing allowed us to do some stuff that normally we wouldn't be able to do with, Form and Kydex. So this is a new project, and we're super happy about this one. And then we've got the Elvia. And the Elvia has become kind of a cult classic for a lot of people. There's a few different companies that are making them. We've been doing this version for coming up on about 3 years now. And this one's going to be sporting a Magna Cut blade. The specific one is going to be DLC coated. We've got natural G10 handles and then DLC hardware. And something that we do on all of our knives, but it's really highlighted with natural G10, is all of our knives are hollowed out on the inside. So there's going to be a pocket that's in there that you could put emergency supplies, you could put, just anything you could think of. Or for those of us that are pretty weight conscious and don't want something that weighs, half a pound sitting in our pocket, this saves a lot on weight. So this knife and this sheath all packaged together weighs about 5 ounces, whereas a similar counterpart that isn't machined out, isn't hollowed out, is going to weigh 8-9 ounces. So the sheaths that we do on the Elvias, we made sure that you could put that in both ways. So these are great to put in your pocket. I've had mine for ever since we did the V2 version, which you're seeing here. I've had this in my pocket for almost 2 years now. And the sheath, doesn't matter which way your knife goes in. So you can put it this way, you can put it this way. And that was a lot of effort we put into that. And we wanted something you could carry every day. So some of us carry these, some of us carry the Jackalope XLs. It's just, different strokes for different folks. Now we've got the Machetes. And the Machetes are a brand new project we've been doing with Ed. In case you can't tell, we've been doing a lot of projects with Ed this year, and we've been pretty happy about it. So he came to us and he said, I want something that's narrow enough, thin enough, and light enough that you could put it inside the sleeve of a jacket, or you could put it inside a backpack and not notice that it's there. So we hand grind these out of AEBL. They're going to be black oxide finished. We're running 3D printed handles on these, and then we've got a folded Kydex slip. And the reason that we did this as opposed to full-blown Kydex or a stitch sheath or something like that, number one, these things are scary sharp. So any kind of stitch construction, unless there's some kind of plastic buffer in there, is going to be really sketchy to carry. This also keeps it super thin when it's going inside a pack or a jacket or something like that. It is just about exactly the width of the machete, and there's no wasted space. So for these, you can put Velcro on them. You could glue clips on them if you wanted to. We just wanted something real simple, real thin, and we think this achieved that. But these are, it's hard to convey how light they are. They're going to run maybe 10 ounces, 11 ounces for the whole package, which is phenomenal for how big it is. So yeah, this is a new project. We're pretty pumped about this one too. And then this is going to be the lightweight version of a kitchen knife that we released earlier this year and have since sold out. We're working on a batch of those. But same thing as the Machete, same thing as the El Burro that you saw. These are all going to be hand ground, hand finished. And then we're running 3D printed handles and a 3D printed sheath. And same thing as the El Burro, these are 52-100. So it's a good carbon steel, it's easy to sharpen, and it holds a phenomenal edge in our experience. So I've been pretty happy about this one. Next, we've got the La Bruja, and the La Bruja we've been doing with Ed for a little bit over a year. Right now, we've only got a handful of the fully machined ones left. So we have these machined at a CPM 3V, and we've been doing these, about a year and a half with him. We have a few left for the show, but these are expected to go pretty quick. And then the lightweight version, it's going to be the same thing as our kitchen knife, as our Machetes, our El Burros. They're all going to be hand ground. Same thing, it's going to be 52-100 on these. And the sheath, instead of having the Kydex on the original ones, and some of y'all have had the gripe of the Kydex rattling a little bit, so switching to the 3D printed sheaths removes that entirely, and it keeps your footprint super thin, super small in your pocket. And the clips can be reversed on either side, just depending on if you're left or right-handed. But again, we wanted something real thin, real budget friendly, and something that just had a good amount of cutting power in it. Now over here, these are going to be our factory seconds. So whether we slip up or there's blemishes in the steel when we get it, sometimes things go wrong in heat treating. Stuff happens. And instead of throwing these away or just getting rid of them, we breathe a little life into them. We make sure that everything functions properly. and we sell them for usually about half of what they normally would go for, even less. And that way you can get a feel for our A-grade knives, if you will, and you're still getting, you know, everything that you've come to know and love with Turner. So we've had a bunch of people picking this stuff up. This is another project that we've been doing with Ed Calderon this year. He wanted something that you could put a bar of soap, you could put cigarettes, you could put money, spare change, ammunition, just whatever would fit inside that tin. So we machined these out of 6061 aluminum. And the idea with these is you've got a real solid case to put stuff in. I keep knife sharpening stuff in mine in my bag so my stones don't snap and get crushed. But it's something that you can pack in your fist, and you know, some people say you could, you know, grind your herbs with it if you wanted to. But they pack a wallop. You know, you can fill this up with coins. You'll add a few more ounces of weight to them. But yeah, this is something that we've been doing with him since earlier this year, and we've been super happy with it. It's just a real simple, really durable aluminum box.
TSA approved.
TSA approved. Yeah. Soap on this side, ashtray on this side. Just make sure you wash your ashes out before you put your soap back in there. And yeah, I store sharpening stuff. I put spare 22 ammunition in mine. Just whatever your heart desires, you can put in here, and it'll keep it nice and safe.
Amazing. And that's all available here at the Turner CNC booth. Find them here at Blade Show West and online, turnercnc.com. David, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.